YouTube, how's it going? Jujubear here, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our 2016 Risk Tournament Group Stages coverage. If you're unfamiliar with Risk, it basically goes along the lines of 2 players submit a build to admin, and then there's a 50-50 chance that both players will have to swap their builds. So some very interesting strategies brought. Speaking of interesting strategies, you can bring a very strong army, but of course there's a risk in that, because there's a 50-50 chance that your very strong army will go to your opponent. Now in this game we've got 2 players from Group A, which has been fairly quiet recently. We've had SunsinDiary versus AVA Hitch. So two very good players playing up against each other. Now SunsinDiary has come to me with a GETAE build, very strong, lots of swords. And for a tournament first, we've got Hitch bringing Rome. And they're both very strong builds. Looking at them now, I can see no fault. It's going to be interesting to say the least with this kind of matchup. Definitely, whenever Rome is involved, be it shit, be it a good build, it's always going to be fairly interesting to see what happens. So anyway, let's jump into the battle and we'll see the actual builds themselves. Here we are, we're in Nemes, we're back, and we had a swap round, is what happened. So now, Hitch is going to have to face up against his very strong Rome build. So we have Hitch commanding the GETAE here. So this is the build that Sunsin originally built. And we have Sunsin, who's been handed this very sweet Rome build here. Let's go through Hitch build. He's got 2 spear horsemen out in the left flank. He's got another one out in the right flank. 2 bow horsemen, 1 on each flank as well. 2 spears, 1 on each flank. He's got Folksmen, 3 heavy spears up the front, and 3 mercenary axe warriors up the front also. He's got 2 Dacian bowmen. He's also got 4 noble noble swords right at the back. I guess he's protecting them with his cheaper units up the front. So, for Sunsin, man, Hitch did a really good job of putting together this Rome build. He used all 8 of his swords. In the form of these 4 veteran legionnaires and these 4 Evocati cohort. So punishing stuff, absolutely. He's hidden his sword core behind 4 of these Vigiles up the front. He's also got 3 Balearic slingers. And out in those flanks, he's got Soci Equites, a Levy, and the same thing happening over here as well, also a Legatus. So definitely going to be, I mean, just looking at this so far, I can see that Hitch has a very nice wing formed up here. He's got the advantage in terms of cavalry. He also, I think, has better units out in the flanks to use. I mean, he's got Folksmen, Axe Warriors, Spears, and Horsemen, whereas Rome, Sunsin's going to have a bit of a harder time. I mean, he's going to have to hope to use these Soci Equites to kind of get into combat, hold down a bunch of units, and then use his levies to kind of fire in, maybe bring a Vigile in, or maybe a sword. Again, I don't know. Who knows? He does have the skirmishing advantage, Sunsin does. But yeah, I mean, Hitch, to be honest, looking at this build, I can't really see any way that he could win out completely, really. Let's check out what he's doing now. So he's got these 3 heavy spears right at the front. Not a bad idea at all. 3 of these mercenary axe warriors behind them. So he's got a couple of different lines. Not such a bad idea at all. Probably hoping to defend those heavy spears from frontal YOLO. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to be too scared of, really, in terms of frontal YOLOs. All these Roman troops don't really have the best charge at all. Yeah, charge bonus of 15. So, I mean, he's going to want to apply his charge liberally on the Romans, using his noble swords, maybe his axe warriors. These guys have a fairly good charge bonus of 20. But yeah, if he can get those guys into combat unhindered, get their charge applied, he might stand a pretty good chance with his noble swords. But I mean, Sunsin has the numbers, and he has the quality as well. So he's got the quantity and he's also got the quality. I mean, Hitch does have the cavalry advantage, or the mobility advantage. I'm just going to put forward on here. But that's about it, really. So Sunsin's going to be pushing up with his Roman build. He's going to hope to get this underway fairly quickly, just out of range. But it looks like he's pushing up. Yeah, and he's going to be not focus firing, but firing on those noble swords. Hitch is going to bring his own Dacian bowman up. I wonder if they're on fire at will. Doesn't really look like they have attack orders just yet. They're taking fire. They're taking a lot of fire, actually. A lot of losses. Holy crap. So, yeah, Hitch is going to push back the skirmishers with his spear horseman. Not a bad idea at all. And Sunsin is going to mirror exactly what Hitch has done with his own Soki Equites and push them back. Wow, getting fairly close to the enemy lines there. Vigile is being pushed right up as well. We've got veteran legionnaires, a very juicy target for those spear horsemen. And it looks like Hitch is not going to take the bait and he's going to push back. Wow. This will be an early engagement. Soki Equites being... Wow, okay. The Soki Equites got charged by the spear horsemen. Probably not going to go too well for them. What's going on here? So the spear horsemen are being pulled out, actually. That's not a good idea at all. So Soki Equite is going to be picking up a bunch of very easy kills on the spear horsemen because they're being pulled out of combat. These Vigilias are getting shredded from the front by those Dacian bowmen. Yeah, and then these veteran legionnaires are going to be brought in to support. So the Roman Cav is doing pretty well so far. Hitch is going to send in his second spear horseman out in this flank. Not sure if this is a very good idea from Sunsin, just throwing away his mobility like that. He doesn't have the best cav, and he doesn't have the best mobility on the field either. So you would think you would want to hold on to those cav units a little bit better, especially at the start of the game like this. These Dacian bowmen are being torn apart by the enemy Balearic slingers. And it looks like Sunsin's going to bring another Balearic slinger out in this flank. We've got Folksmen coming in here. These Folksmen would be very useful in this fight against these Soki Equites, because they do have that hidden bonus versus large. Oh yeah, but this is going to open up their rear to the Balearic slingers. These guys are going to have a field day just firing into the rear here, and they're going to get charged by the Vigiles. Not the most brutal of charges, I'm sure, but okay, we've got Soki Equites coming up here, charging into those heavy spears. This is going to fix them in place for a little bit longer. And it looks like, yep, so Sunsin's won the skirmishing engagement with his own Balearic slingers. I guess he would expect that against these Dacian bowmen. These bow horsemen are going to get pulled back by the Vigiles. Not a bad idea at all from Sunsin, just screening with the cheaper unit. And it looks like Sunsin has been able to overwhelm this flank using a couple of swords. And these noble swords are going to come in here and probably wreck those Vigiles, but they may change targets here. They're going to want to. What have we got popped here? So we got Headhunt. Pretty early headhunt from the noble swords here. They're going to get into contact with the Evocati cohort. They do get a nice, not the best charge actually, I'll lie. And we're getting mercenary axe warriors being pulled across into this fight. I don't know if that's a very good idea. I mean, they were already in combat with the veteran legionnaires. And it looks like, yep, so Sunsin's happy to hold back with his units and fire in with his Balearic slingers and swords and that kind of thing. Looks like we've got almost like a wraparound happening with the Roman troops here. Right out in this flank, we've got spear horsemen holding down a Vigiles and a veteran legionnaire. The noble swords of Hitch are doing pretty well, actually, doing really well up against these Evocati cohort. In a prolonged engagement, they may actually win this engagement. We've got bow horsemen very intelligently by Hitch is going to be pulling these guys through that tiny little gap, but it looks like they just got caught. Or a couple of them got caught by the Soki Equites, but he's going to go for it anyway. Good charge, getting in there. Probably going to pick up a couple of kills. Don't know if they're going to kill too many of them. And the Soki Equites have caught them, so they're probably going to put them down fairly soon. This Vigile is going to be popped into square. Not a bad idea at all. The Noble Swords have an attack order on the Evocati cohort, so we'll see whether or not they get the best charge or not. Yep, looks like they're just going to go straight past the Vigiles altogether and just go for the Evocati cohort. But those... Man, these levies have a great shot in here on the rear or the side or the flank of these noble swords. Headhunt has been popped in that unit. This noble sword managed to chew its way through one veteran legionnaire, and it looks like they're going to try and move on to the next target. I'm not sure what that would be at this point. These spear horsemen are doing pretty well at holding down these veteran legionnaires, but the general is going to have a tough time taking on two of these Roman swords here. These noble swords, man, just being picked apart by the levies and slingers and Balearics, and man, this is sad to watch. We've got these Evocati cohorts struggling up against the noble swords. The noble swords would probably win this engagement if they're left untouched. These Evocati cohort are going to be struggling up against the heavy spears and mercenary axe warriors. We've got these noble swords coming in for a charge. Don't know if they're going to get the best charge here. Headhunt, again, has been popped early. They're going to have to try and get a nice charge in here. They get a very nice jab volley, that's for sure. Oh, Sunsin's going to pull out, and he's going to bring his general in. Legatu's coming in for a nice charge here, knocking down a whole bunch of those noble swords before they get into combat. So this is exactly what Rome should be trying to do, is avoiding the charge of those noble swords. Is pretty brutal stuff. Evocati cohort getting into this fight now as well. These Vigiles doing a really great job of holding up the noble swords, and then a very nice recharge coming in from the Soki Equites. Don't know if I don't really know if that's going to be enough to take them out of the fight, really. We've got fire coming in from the auxiliary Balearics. These Evocati cohort are going to go down. 27 men left, and they're still going strong. 66 morale is going to be enough to keep them there. And a very nice recharge coming in here with these veteran legionnaires. Now, we do have a Dacian bowman left in the fight, and they're getting some very nice rear shots on this veteran legionnaire. You all know how much I like rear shots on Romans. That's very juicy stuff happening out there. These noble swords didn't get the best charge in these veteran legionnaires, but it looks like they're probably going to be able to win out that engagement if they're left alone, which they're not, because we do have another veteran legionnaire coming in here as well. So, looks like common theme. Sunsin just had the numbers, and he also had the quality. Of course, playing as Rome, you can pretty much expect that in most engagements. He's got heaps of skirmishes left. He's got plenty of cav left as well. Didn't expect that. 26 cav, 36 Soki Equites. These noble swords that look like they're being sandwiched by a bunch of Roman swords. How many kills? Not too bad. 158. Nice stuff. These noble swords are going to get rear charged by everything. Oh yeah. Baleric's getting nice shots in here on these noble swords. And we got loyalty of the 10th being popped. Oh no, presence. Recharge rate comes in. I don't really know how useful that would be, but anyway, why wouldn't you? So yeah, it looks like Sunsin's done a pretty good job with the Roman build, and Hitch Slap did a really good job at first to hold in the center. He actually did a pretty good job in the center where I thought that he would win out in the flanks, but yeah, Veteran Legionnaires getting plenty of kills as you'd expect. All of the swords getting heaps of kills, 283 on that guy, wow. Balearic Slingers getting a nice amount of time to use up all of their ammo. Noble Swords getting a lot of kills, but you would probably expect a lot more on Roman infantry. And the Spear Horsemen as well, probably being committed a little bit too early. They weren't supported in most of their engagements. The Dacian Bowmen, they lost out their skirmishing fight with the Balearic Slingers. And these heavy spears, I suppose, didn't do too much in the battle. But yeah, great game from both players. Hopefully you guys are enjoying watching these games so far in the tournament. I know I am. We've had some pretty amazing games already, and we've got so many more to get through. And then we got the finals as well, so we got heaps of games to get through at this point. So what this means is SunsinDiary goes top of the group. Hitch Slap is still looking for a win in his group at this point. So yeah, again, big thanks to the players, big thanks to you guys for watching. This is Jujubear signing out for now. Peace.